They sent a group message at 9:12 p.m. "We've talked, and we think it's best if you step away for now." No names, no explanation. A heart from my sister. Performative. My reply was surgical. "Understood, I'll respect that, and step away from the family entirely. Take care. Take care." We were married under a wooden arch, promises whispered like mortgage paperwork. He learned my mother's name. I learned the pattern of his hands. We built a life on mutual accounting. Trust recorded, assumed, rarely audited. The first cracks were tiny. A missed anniversary. A late call home explained as work. Then withdrawn cash. Invoices that didn't add up. Phone screens flipped down when I entered a room. I noticed patterns. I catalogued them. I did not confront. Accusation is a luxury for the unprepared. The undeniable evidence arrived not as a confession but as a ledger. I found transfers, series of small, deliberate movements, names I didn't recognize, notes that read like contracts. He wasn't betraying me with another person. He was converting our life into something he could walk away with quietly. Shock lasted as long as a breath. After that, I moved like someone sharpening a scalpel. I read trust law at night. I called a lawyer the next morning. I opened accounts in places he couldn't touch. I withdrew funds in staggered steps, small enough to avoid alarms, large enough to matter. I watched his habits and used them against him. I began with paper. First invoked the clause. He had drafted a provision 5 years earlier, proudly, arrogantly, declaring a contingency airtight. I filed under that very sentence. The court liked people who wrote clear contracts. Second, decouple assets, properties, accounts, beneficiary forms, each unlinked from his sole control. I moved holdings into trusts, where his signature lacked power. Each transfer was executed as if routine paperwork because it was third reputation. He cultivated it at the club, in chamber lunches, in op-eds, about integrity. I fed those same circles facts, not rumors, records, dates. His allies grew cautious. His defenses thinned. I kept my face neutral. I answered calls with questions that sounded like curiosity. I sent one letter to my mother, measured patient-attached documents. She forwarded the family message. It arrived at my door as consensus. They had decided to step away and call it closure. The settlement meeting was scheduled for a Wednesday after lunch. He wore the suit. He wore the day we signed mortgage papers. He smiled like a practiced man. I placed the file between us and slid it toward him. Inside were photocopies of transfers, bank notices, the clause he'd written in his own hand. I named amounts. I named dates. He tried charm. He tried shame. He tried bargaining. Each tactic hit a wall of evidence. His options collapsed politely. Pride is loudest when there is nothing left to shout with. He reached for explanations that required forgiveness. I did not grant it. I countered with signatures and motions. Paperwork does not beg. When the lawyer signed, the account that meant the most, the one he'd treated like a private trophy, moved at 7:49 p.m. I executed the redirection. $87,000 cleared that night. He texted at 9:05. Where did it go? I typed to where it belongs. There was no dramatic eruption. There was confirmation, a digital transfer, a timestamp, a new beneficiary. The ledger doesn't plead, it records. In the morning, statements reflected consequences, not intentions. My mother called later, voice thin. Why did you take it so far? She asked, expecting pleading, explanation, humiliation. I answered in the only honest way. I didn't take it far, I said. I fixed what he'd already broken. She hung up. Silence is a verdict different from a sentence. Her silence became my closure. After the execution, there is an odd stillness, like after a precise operation. You are alive. You are intact. Relief is quieter than vindication. It smells of coffee and unopened files. 2 weeks later, the roses on the terrace bloomed indifferent to the rearranged accounts. My sister liked a picture of me and tagged a laughing gif I ignored. The country club posted an event to which he wasn't invited. The family group chat remained a void. I walked away exactly as they'd requested. I left with my name clear on the deeds that mattered. I left with a balance corrected. I had not sought petty ruin. I had sought restoration. The money was not theft. It was reallocation of what his actions had rendered available. People imagine revenge as noise. They forget its quiet arithmetic, a withheld signature, a timely clause invoked, an account closed, actions done legally, cleanly, without spectacle. These are the things that topple men who rely on appearances. I do not sleep lighter. I sleep differently. Alert, not anxious. I keep the ledger filed under consequence. When the night is long, I open the file and read entries like a litany. Each line is a small satisfaction. Date, amount, destination. The betrayal sits on a shelf. Now, it is a tool for memory, not a blade. If you want a final image, imagine a quiet room, a lamp, a laptop that shows a confirmation screen.